Greetings. Welcome to the one and only Soul Power Tennis. Yes, we are here. Let me just check a few systems real quick. See how we're doing. Just a moment. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. Um, yes. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, happy Sunday, everyone. Good to have you all in the spot. Let me actually do this real quick and make sure you do what is requested of you to do, and that is that which is on the screen, which is please make sure you like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell, so you can be made aware when it is I go live. I know that it can be a bit irritating sometimes when you get a notification when somebody's going live, and if you're subscribed to quite a bit of people's YouTube channels, and you click the notification bell, it's like you're getting continual updates. Excuse me, where you're getting continual, reminders of when people who you've clicked on when they're going live. So, but for me right now, Soul Power Tennis, excuse me, is only happening once every 7 days in terms of a live broadcast. That's going to be changing in the coming days, in the coming months, of course. But I may put out a short clip or short, once or twice, during the week, or strong, as we say here. But a live broadcast, as it stands now, is only happening once every 7 days. So that's why it's imperative for you to click that notification bell, because you only get one reminder from me in a 7-day time period. That's not that bad. You can manage that. Let me sip some tea real quick. Oh, yes, sipping tea on a Sunday. This is what is this? This particular flavor is, just a moment. Let me check something. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I got it. This particular flavor is raspberry passion. Perfect energy. Energizes and supports focus. Wait a minute. It says contain caffeine. Shit. Herbal supplement. I didn't know that this had caffeine in it. That's how it gives you the energy? Wow. I try to stay away from caffeine. I mean, for one, I tend to have a healthy amount of energy already. Been experiencing some dips, in that over the previous, few years or so, but still a good amount of energy. I don't drink coffee to increase my alertness or, to start the day, or I don't rely on it. Once in a blue moon, I might have coffee, quote unquote, recreationally, cold coffee on a hot summer day, or you go to somebody's house and they've, made some specialty, kinds of beans, and you want to taste it, go ahead and taste it, So that's pretty cool. And coffee is sacred. It's his own world. So saying all that to say that, give me just a moment, that to be too low. Yeah, saying all that to say that I'm happy to be here today, and I'm focused, and I'm here. And the message says, thought I turned my phone off. Let me do that right now. The message that is on my tea bag says, the principal ingredient of life is love. The principal ingredient of life is love. Ooh, right on time for the season that we're in. It is, quote unquote, the holiday season. And, this is a time where you spend a significant amount of time with your loved ones. It could be those who are friends, those who are family members, starting with family, those who are family first, those who are friends of the family, Or maybe, you're hanging out with you're spending time with your coworkers, in a work setting. And if it's just you and your doggy or cats, plural, um, then do your best. It's not the ideal space and place to be in alone for any of us, but you know, make the best of what it is you have. And so that's very, very important. And yeah. So, but or you might be with a lover, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a man, your woman, your lady, all of that, you know. And if you're up to something good in the world, may you be blessed with some soul power to be sprinkled upon you in a very specific way. So that is that. I'm here today, this particular broadcast. This is the podcast version of Soul Power Tennis. Soul Power Tennis. Yes. So, you won't be seeing my face, but you will be hearing this voice, and wishfully that is enough to get you through and to make a do for what it is I have for you. So the title of this broadcast is entitled Stream of Consciousness, Free Thought. So if you want to ask a question, leave a comment in the comment section for me to address. Or if you just want to listen in like you're doing right now, that is perfectly fine. No issues with that. I'm just, I'm here and speaking with whatever comes to mind, whatever comes to heart, as it pertains to the tennis world and maybe a little bit of life sprinkled in there. So that's what I'm here for. First things first, in addition to you liking, subscribing, clicking the notification bell, is to just, make you all aware that, there's a lot of transitions happening on my side as I sip that tea on a Sunday. There's, in the coming days before year's end, you're going to be seeing, there's going to be some difference here. And what has been so I started streaming as a professional this year. I'd say my start date was October 1st, to be official on all of my channels that I have on YouTube. Now, I've been on YouTube now for years, like several years, but taking it as a professional after getting the appropriate training, mentorship, skills, resources, trial and error, and most importantly, well, all those are important, but very importantly, the equipment that I need in order to proceed professionally. That started on October 1st and me taking this seriously. And so the first, 60 plus days that it's been, we're now in that, that third and last part of the 90-day trial and error, quote unquote, period, I guess you could say, or the maybe experimentation period. And so from October 1st, 2022 to January 1st, 2023 has meant to be more of a experimentation period with the broadcast, all of my channels in general, but because we're listening here on Soul Power Tennis, it's been to, focusing on the matter at hand, and that is, putting a different spin on a topic matter that's going on in the tennis world from our perspective here. And, specifically focusing in on the contributions of foundational Black Americans to the sport of tennis. So that's been the focus. When I started this channel, I was, doing more personal videos about certain topic matters that were very, very personal to me. And, I wanted to create a channel where I can just, be myself and not be a different iteration of myself. Um, and with my other channels, it's a version of that. So I was like, okay, Akhmose, just be me. But if it's just me, things will be all over the place and I'd be covering so many different topics. And so I just had to focus in on a topic matter. And that's why the initial videos that you see, from maybe July, August, even going into September, definitely October, are more personal videos. And then I decided to like hone in and just make this channel about tennis because, I just think that there is a niche here for somebody with my background and my look, my experience, and my, interpretation of the game and what it means to me in my life and how I express it. There's a space for me to create, to be successful. And so that's why we went with that approach, and that's where we're at. However, in addition to that, because there's some things, shifting on my end in real time, we're going to be spicing it up a bit, but we're still in that 90-day experimentation time period. And in the coming, broadcast, you're going to see some different things that we will be doing here. And I'm excited about it, and wishfully you're excited about it as well. Come on. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be different. So it's really been about laying the foundation of who I am as a human, as a man, as a foundational Black American man. And you getting familiar with me, and ideally me getting familiar with you, before we launch, or as we're launching into the topic matter at hand. So that's what, the first few broadcasts and we're about, and just like the foundation of how we carry ourselves here, what it is we focus in on. So that's very, very important, and that's very, very key. And so now that foundation has been laid, and now there's a proper understanding, overstanding, understanding of like who I am and what I, am taking on, and what the focal point is. We can best move forward. We can best engage each other when we know who we are and what we're dealing with as we interface. So with that being said, the goal has been to have all of my channels monetized by January 1st, 2023. And I'm still keeping to that. Soul Power Tennis is not the main channel, quote unquote, that I spend the most time on. But even in that process of having 3 channels and doing 3 different broadcasts in a 7-day time period, you got to focus in on one more than the other. And, I just was going to focus in on one. But I was like, you know what? Let me just, again, experiment with 3 at once and see what comes of it after the 90-day time period. And if I have to focus in on one exclusively, then that's what I'll do. But I got a really, really good thing going in all 3. That is Akhmose, the Compostist channel. That is Soul Power Tennis, which is where we're at right now. And also the Compliment King channel. But getting back to Soul Power Tennis, getting 1,000 subscribers is a goal. Getting over 4,000 watch hours is a goal. And getting my channel monetized is a goal. Why is that, might you ask? Sips tea, ASMR, asthma going on. Because you have a job, correct? You have a career. You have a profession. You have something that you've chosen to do with your life force every day that you get up. to focus in on a skill set. Now, whether you chose it openly and freely or you were semi forced into it because of life situations or pressure, you're still a human and you're a grown up. If you're listening, most of us who are listening, for those grown-ups who are listening, you're still making a conscious choice to go to work. Whether you have to leave your house and go to an actual physical location or outdoors, or you're staying in, at home and working remotely, or somewhere else and working remotely, you've made that choice to live out the task of your profession with the expectation, the want, and the goal of getting compensated for your work. That compensation allows you to take care of yourself, provide food, clothing, and shelter, be able to have self-care, travel, share with family and friends, explore life, build upon what it is you have. The same thing applies to me and what it is I'm doing here as being an online content creator on YouTube. This is my career. This is my passion. This is my profession. It's newer, but I'm stepping fully into it. And so I deserve to receive compensation and payment, as every online content creator who's taken this seriously and who is, open to and requesting for that to be the case. So that's all. So I just had to put that out there and say, I encourage you to do your part to assist me in reaching that goal so that we can grow what it is we do here. We got some pretty cool things planned, and they can come about much quicker and more robustly when we have a larger support, And so I'm on here as Akhmose, being in love with the game of tennis, which is, now my favorite sport, because I'm feeling some kind of way about the professional basketball league right now. But tennis is tennis to me, individual sport, it is it. And so here I am talking about this, and I'm attempting, I've put the signal out to find my tribe, to find my like minds and like spirit people who love, adore, admire, are intrigued by this sport. And so I encourage you to find me as I find you. So that's that. All right. So that foundation has been laid. Now getting into some other thoughts and feelings that are on my mind, in my body. I recognize something. And this came to me a few days ago. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, I'm thinking, the previous broadcast 7 days ago was about the big 4, 5 or 6. But if we just focus in on the big 4 in terms of the male tennis players who have dominated the sport at the same exact time over the previous 15 to 20 years, who are around the same age range and who've had maybe like 85-90% of all the Grand Slams and all like the large titles in the sport for that period of time, it comes down to primarily 4 people. You can extend it to say 5 and throw in Stan Wawrinka. We always got to give a shout out to my guy, Juan Martín Del Potro, who has, a few big titles and 1 Grand Slam as well. Stan the Man, that's my guy as well. But we're going to focus in on the big 4. So as we were talking about Andy Murray, Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, and Rafael Nadal, those being the big 4, we addressed them 7 days ago and we're addressing them again today. So I was sitting there a few days ago and I was thinking, it just came to me as I was thinking about my own success and what do I need to change up, add to my life, or extract from my life to best be successful with this next chapter of my life, for me to achieve. And so it's continually about evolving and growing, and becoming the best version of ourselves, as human beings on planet Earth. And so I'm kind of introspecting about my life and reflecting on things, as I begin to project the future that I want to see for myself and that I want to experience. And, I'm very, very inspired by several things in life, in particular sports. And tennis being what it is to me, I looked at it and I was like, this is interesting. I'm a man and I'm not in a formalized relationship at this time. And I flirt with the idea of, is marriage someday going to be the way to go for me? Or is it me just being a bachelor extended and, get my love on the move, get my loving on the move? I'm in conversation with myself about that. And it dawned on me that all of the big four, all of those four men whose name I just mentioned, are married, with child, or with children. So all four of them are married with children. Let's take a moment to let that soak in. All four of the big four are married with children. Now, let's run it down. Roger Federer has 4 children, 2 of which are full-on teenagers. Other 2 that are about to come into teenagerness very, very shortly. 2 sets of twins, 4 children, and his wife. Him and his wife have known each other since their teenage years, since Roger began to come on the scene as a very good player, 19, 20, 21 years old. We're talking about late 90s, early 2000s, 1999, 2000, 2001. Him and his wife, who was a professional tennis player, started playing mixed doubles, and, they were from the same country. And it's like, wow, look at these 2, young upstarts in their, early 20s, literally 2021, who are beginning their careers, and also they're beginning a budding relationship. And, this is going back, literally like 20 years ago. And fast forward, they're still together and they got 4 children together. And that's to be applauded for sure. You can applaud that. Yeah. Put your hands together. Just let's, tap some, clang some cans, clang some cups. That is worthy. We look at Andy Murray. Andy Murray and his wife have been together since Andy was in his early 20s. She was in the stands, and here he is, becoming one of the big four in his early 20s. And this is going back, 15 years ago or so. And he's coming on the scene, and he had prominence, and he had a lot of, what's the word that I'm searching for at this exact moment? He had a lot of potential, and I'm sure his wife, his then girlfriend, saw that in him. But they were together back then, and they're still together now, and they have 4 children. They have 4 children together. Andy Murray and his wife have 4 children together, and they're married, still together, and that's what they got. That is to be applauded. Let's applaud that. Cling, 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 cling. Yep. And since Andy is British, we must sip some tea. We shall carry on then. Now, we got Novak Djokovic. Him and his wife met in their early 20s, about 15 years ago or so. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. Eventually, they got married, and then they went on to have 2 children. So, again, known each other since their early days. Early on the tour, you know, she's been in the audience and in the crowd supporting him with passion, you know, along with his family, and just, you know, been there and married with children. So it's like, again, as a man, it's like, woo, that is impressive. That is to be applauded. Rafael Nadal, the latest of the crew to take on those rites of passages. But a few years ago, within the previous, 3 to 5 years, him and his longtime girlfriend, who he met back in his, I want to say, late teens, definitely like early 20s, like 2021, she was already in the audience, in the crowd, and again, this is going back over 15 years ago. This is more like 17, years or so. And yeah, but about 15, and been there in the crowd supporting all along. And eventually they, stayed together and went on to get married very recently, like I shared. And they just had their first child a few months ago, about a month and a half ago to be exact, of this year, of 2022. The middle of October is when they had their child, and it's now early December of 2022. And so it's like, wow, that is to be applauded. Yeah. Okay. Show some love. Yeah. Show some love. Yes. So just to recap, we got 4 different men who have been with the same woman primarily and prioritized her for the better part of 15 to 20 plus years. Went on to marry them and went on to procreate with them. In most cases, more than once. And these are the most successful men of all time in their sport, with the era that they created in the Big Four, 5 or 6, but focusing in on the Big Four, the era that they created has been the greatest era in tennis history, essentially. And if we focus in on the Big Three, for sure, because there's a jostling of thought of who is the greatest of all time. Is it Roger Federer? Is it Rafael Nadal? Is it Novak Djokovic? All have 20 plus Grand Slam titles, And so it's like, for these men to do what they did, and it's been like 3 Michael Jordans playing all at once, or 3 LeBron James playing all at once, but more so like just 3 players who could be considered the greatest of all time, all playing at the same time, competing against each other at the highest level. And what they have created is the best days of tennis, the good old days, the best days. And we're still in that era, and there's still 3 of the 4 who are still playing. And, that's going to be changing in the coming, years. And so I just think that it's very, very interesting that we see these reoccurring themes in their lives. And we see that as a modality, a method, or a technique of success, in comparison to other sports. And we say, pick the top 4 most prominent athletes in another sport, and are they married? In basketball, maybe you can do something, similar, and it's just that it's more of a team sport, and it's like so many more to choose from who've been dominating. But if you say, whose era has this been primarily, it's been LeBron James, and then you got to throw in, Steph Curry, Stephen Curry. And you can, do some other honorable mentions like, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis came a bit later. And, we can name some other names, but in terms of, the most prominent over the previous, 12, 15, 20 plus years. And you could throw in, Kevin Durant as well. But in terms of like the face of the league, that's probably between two players, LeBron James and, Steph Curry, for a litany of different reasons. So those are two men who are married with children and still together. And so that's another, example of another sport on the importance of having that other person there and coalescing and making that choice to be married and procreate. And so there's something to that, something to success, something to attaining success or building upon your success more hopefully or wholesomely, that points out. So I just found it very, very interesting and intriguing, as we get back to tennis, that I don't think that's by coincidence. I don't think it's by happenstance. I don't think it's by chance. I think that it is showing the kind of society that we live in, but more importantly, how maybe a certain group of people have established their success, or what is one of the main keys to success, and putting partnership and family first and legacy first in that way, and going about it that way. And some may say that could be potentially the best way to go about it. So I just want to share that and, have us pay attention to it. So I just think it's very, very interesting. So we all have different keys to success and different ways that we want to go about attaining that, achieving that. And it was just interesting to observe that way. And we'll see what I create for myself, in the coming months and years of my life. And I ask for more life and more productivity. I command more life and more productivity and more success and more achievement and more awareness and more exploration of this life, and I command better health and better wealth and better fruition. And, I want to be able to continually make my family proud, and treat my mother to some beautiful life experiences as well, in particular. And most importantly, grow what it is I'm doing on planet Earth as a human, So that's where we're at with that. And other than that, I'm just thankful that the sun is shining today, and I know it's chilly outside, but I'm thankful to have food, clothing, shelter, a roof over my head, and, resources and purpose. And for the most part, better health, good health, and, family. And, I can choose to hug a tree today, and thankful that the higher forces are guiding me, and, that I have life in my body. And so it's all truly a blessing. And so, tell someone that you love them today. Give someone a hug today. Make a gift for someone this holiday season. Instead of buying one, make a gift. Acknowledge someone today. It'll go a long way towards making their day, making yours, and making a better world for us all. So, Soul Power Tennis is where we're at. It's where I'm at. And that's essentially it. So I want to thank you all for joining this broadcast. Let's make it long last. And on your way out, again, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell. And, get ready for what's next. It's going to be exciting. And it's definitely going to be inviting. So I invite you all to partake in it. And until next time, peace, and love. Oh, play some tennis. While you do it with some soul power. Take it with you.